Okay.
Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for joining this podcast episode. Really appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for asking me. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great and super excited to have a conversation with you today and learn more about your journey into like you created an amazing business for yourself and you're helping other women's going through like what you've been through and you have an interesting journey as well, like what inspired you to like creating your business. So yeah, I'd love to know more about like what was going on your life in order to like you decided to start helping other women's like other moms get over their stress and they're like feeling guilty about like not being able to create mom or like being professional, whatever that may be. So if you can start off like what was going wrong in your life, like when you realized like this is not something is working right and I'm overwhelmed with myself. So if you can walk us through.
Yeah, sure. So I've been working like since I was about, I don't know, 16, and I met my husband, and then we got married and had children, but I still continue to work. I think we feel the pressure to try and do it all. It's out there, isn't it? You can do it
Yeah.
all, be it all. And it doesn't help that social media kind of portrays this perfect mum with perfect life and the balance. And I went away one weekend, and coming home, I kind of felt layers of responsibility sort of stacking up on me. And I knew that when I got home, I was going to have to hit the ground running. I was going to have to get everything ready because it was Sunday night. So for school, all the bags and everything. And I just felt at that time, it's enough.
Mm.
Things have to change. I've got to get that balance. I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should be happy to be coming home, not feeling all these layers of responsibility to come on me. And that's when I started my self-development journey, which is sort of led me to where I am today.
Yeah, that is the case, isn't it? Like when someone is doing some kind of like professional work, like as a mother, as a woman, there's like another department is there, like their home needs to be taken care of as well. Like you come home, like you have to make a dinner for you, especially if you have like a children, like there is so much responsibility. Are they like done their homework? Are they on time? Uh, Is there any prepared meal for them for taking probably tomorrow to going to school, looking after your husband, your partner, whoever may be, and there is like always urgency in there. Like you rarely get the time for yourself, like as a mother, like you always looking for someone else, and also like taking on so much on like on your shoulder, like even though you're professionally working for someone or like you running your own business, there is always like more. And I seen that with the woman that the tendency like they care much of like people pleasing things is always the case. Like they
Mm.
make sure like their boss is happy with them, the leader is happy with them, the children happy with them, the partner happy with them, and tend to forget about themselves. Like I need to look after myself as well. So that's the
Mhm.
great thing. Like you found yourself like hey, like this thing is going over my life, and I need to change that, and I need to work myself on it. So what did you do like in terms of like taking a steps to get out the route and just created the lifestyle you have right now?
So I looked at, first of all, looked at what, because I had to commute to work, my husband had to commute to work. And although he worked full time and I worked part time,
Mm.
I mean, all this extra hours that you do that's unpaid is not really calculated in. So King's College London have actually found that predominantly women work an extra 4 hours and 25 minutes in unpaid care work per day.
Yeah.
So sort of going through the system of everything from taking the bins out to cooking a meal to doing the homework and the school runs. And then they've got extra activities, you know, mum's taxi there as well. So taking all of that into consideration, kind of making it more making it more balanced so that you do get the time yourself,
Mm.
because it's, you feel the guilt for taking that time, but by taking that time it actually allows you to sort of reframe and you get more energy. So having more energy actually helps the whole family because you're less stressed. So you're happier, you're not snapping at them all, and you've got more time to spend quality time with them. So it's not
Yeah.
quantity, it's more quality time. And you're happy to spend it. You're not resentful that you're taking time from yourself because you've had some time to yourself. So then you feel better about spending that time with your children, with your husband. And it's a win-win all round, really.
Yeah.
So having that less
And
stress.
how do you balance that out right now? Like, is there like a working from home does that help, or like a working less hour does help, or like do you have to like prioritize like my work time is work time, then when my family time is a family time? How do you balance that?
But yeah, it's a good question. So I do have that mindset of it's work time now and I focus on that. But then when that's finished, I shut that off because it's important to do that because with digital technology getting better and better,
Yeah.
you can be on call predominantly 24/7. So you used to be able to leave the house and nobody could contact you, whereas your phone is also not only your phone, but your computer now. So people can contact you in several different ways. So it's important to focus on work when it's work, then leave that behind and focus on your family when it's family time. Um, and my husband has taken on more responsibility now. So that's good. So that kind of gives me a little bit more time,
Hmm.
not only to focus on me, because everybody says self-care is not selfish, and it's definitely not. So having that time, because I used to find that I was the first up in the morning and I was still working last at night. But now it's more balanced that we all sit down together,
Yeah.
then we can all have the family time together.
Yeah, that's really nice. Like obviously you structured your day like how you want to have. And
Yeah.
I think it's like it's not always possible for like every individual like they can structure their life. Probably some of them our listeners, they working full time, they're professional, they're leaders, they have like more responsibilities. They're probably working 40 hours, 50 hours,
Mhm.
whatever may be, because most of our listeners from the US, then US, you tend to know like they work more hours in terms of like, especially whoever lives in an urban lifestyle, and there is a lot of responsibility to it, like living in a good lifestyle as well.
Mhm.
And like you have to look after your children or like sending them to school, like taking care of everything. So how do someone like super busy and they need to care of themselves and while they don't feel guilty about themselves and all, as well as like looking after children, giving the time for themselves, their children, their family, and also like their health as well, like going to the gym, probably working out, like eating healthy. How would you help someone like that? Like if they comes to you and say, Jackie, like I need a help and but I'm super busy with it, and you're telling me, but I don't have any time. Like how would you help them?
So, good question. We would look at what income they have. If they can't, or they feel they can't sort of have work less, then it would be seeing what resources are around them. So family members to help out. So recently it was it last week, the week before was half term in the UK.
Yeah.
So um, I took somebody else's child for a couple of days and he had a sleepover. So we had a couple of days with another child, but the holiday before that, they had my child for a couple of days. So
Mhm.
it's kind of using or other people, not using them, but having other people around you who can help you with the childcare issues and helping out. I've heard other people make extra food and so they give that to their friend, so they have to cook less that night, and
Yeah.
then in the same time they cook extra food another time and they give it to your family so that you're cooking less. Or you can hire other people to do your cleaning for you if you have that extra income. And there might be some childcare centres. So if my son wants to go, there's some car racing nearby. So he'll go there, he'll do a bit of car racing, he'll have lunch there. That's a day where I can find myself to do a bit of work, a bit of self-care time. He has fun doing something different. I have get the work done, have a bit of self-care time, and then we come together. I've got that. I've not got the work to think about, thinking I'm going to have to do that when he's gone to
Mhm.
bed. I've done that. I've got some time back. So if you can outsource and use resources around you, family members or friends, and they can draw on you as well. That also helps.
Okay. Yeah, so I think like a most important part you just said is about planning. So you need to plan out like how
Yeah.
your days, weeks, or even the months gonna look like. So that way, like you have like more structure because some weeks probably is not gonna be as busy as you think. Probably the less
Mm.
involvement in it. Some weeks will be like a super busy, probably holiday time, and there is like other things around it. If children are home and you have to go to the work and they have a school holiday, like that would be like another problem because it's not always easy to take care of them or like someone have to look after them. Either could be your partner or your moms or your family members, someone, or like you have to hire a nanny to look after them. So you have to plan out like what is important, and then obviously
Yeah.
plan out like when the holiday is going to be, when is the family time, the dinner time. You mentioned like you have a rules for like when you family get together and have a dinner as well. So that gives you like a quality time rather than the quantity of it. So most important part is that. So when we look for like spending like hours and hours rather than we need to have the quality of it. Like we not go on the phone while we having a
Yeah.
meal. We communicate with each other, like finding out how your day was, or like is there anything like they have any issues, like finding out. So another thing is I think like is worth mentioning as well. The health when it's term to go like anyone like especially with the women I seen like I spoke to so many of them professionals, they tend to skip their meals. They don't follow through like probably skipping the breakfast, lunch, or even the dinner. Like they feel like they don't have to eat, and that tend to like over time, like 15 20 years later on, they see the burnout on themselves and the energy getting low and not eating healthy and right things. So how would you like tell someone like they need to look after themselves, not only just like going to the gym or like doing some exercise, the
Mhm.
nutrition or not skipping a meal or like having a balance in between it, everything is important.
Yeah, it is important. So again, it's I plan. So like overnight oats I do for breakfast, so I can make a bulk amount and then I'm using that for my breakfast. I'm thinking about the meals I'm having for my lunches, and then dinner at night. Sometimes I overcook, so I might make
Mm.
2 or 3 times the amount, and then that goes in the freezer. And sometimes I can put it in single portions so that if I'm stuck for something for my lunch, I can just grab that out of the freezer and it's there. And I've got a home cooked meal that I know is healthy. I'm not
Right.
grabbing a bag of crisps or a packet of biscuits or anything
Yeah.
on the run. I have got something there. Um, Exercise. I like a morning walk. I was suffering from not sleeping properly, so I read up on it and I follow the circadian rhythm. So it's watching sunrise or sunset, but you can't do it out of a window. So you can't sit. I'm looking out now because the
Mm.
window's behind your screen.
Yeah.
You can't sit and look at it through the window. You've got to be outside and looking at it. So I walk when sun rises if I can. Um, and my son was coming with me. He was getting a bit of exercise as well. He was, without knowing it, following the circadian rhythm. And outside in nature is fantastic for health reasons anyway. So I was taking him, we were both getting the exercise, we were both following the circadian rhythm, which helps with that, and also a routine for bedtime. So a lot of mothers, well, a lot of parents, I would imagine, they feel they want to get back a bit of time for themselves. So it's
Yeah.
called bedtime procrastination. So they don't want to go to bed because they think, right, I've got this time now, I'm going to have it now. And they put off going to bed later and later. And of course, they wake up in the morning, they're tired, they're starting the day all wrong. So I do have a set time, well, for my for my one child at home because the other one's at university now, but he has a set bedtime. Even at 14, it's set. His
Mm.
phone comes downstairs. He's not, he can't go on his phone. My phone goes downstairs. It doesn't stay in the bedroom. Um, Go to bed. I go to bed at 9 o'clock because I like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's nothing to do with, getting up at 5 o'clock like
Yeah.
all the successful people are meant to do. It's just the way I am. If people want to get up at 6 and 7, that's fine. But I find that going to bed at a certain time, I wake up at a certain time and I have my set routines. And that's the way that works for me. So be
Yeah.
working with people for what works for them. But yeah, like you said, at meal times, again, it's quality.
Mm.
Um, so the phones go away, they're turned off, the TV's off, we're sitting around the table, we're having a home cooked meal, and everybody gets asked about their day. And
Yeah.
you're there actually listening to them. Because there's nothing worse than you asking somebody a question and then them answering it, and then you're going, oh, just a minute, and picking up your phone because
Yeah.
you're not fully present with them, and it's rude, you're not fully present.
Yeah.
But by putting your phones away, I know people who have baskets in different rooms, and the baskets are put to put their phones in, and they know when they're at the table, it goes in the basket, that's it.
Yeah, you created the nice rules for yourself, so it gives you the quality time with your family, as well as you mentioned the when you're cooking in a bulk, so where you can have like another three, four extra portion where you can
Mhm,
do a prep meal kind of thing. So you're not worrying about like constantly, even though you life gets away, like you get really busy and
mhm,
you're not worrying about like how am I gonna cook, or like I have to buy something like a fast food or something like that. So still you're
mhm,
getting like a good nutrition a meal, as well as like you create in habits where you're going for a walk every morning, and that gives you energy. And another super thing is like you mentioned, which is like waking up 5 in the morning. So that gives you like plenty of time before your day gets busy or started. Like
yeah,
you can do whatever you want to do, like 2, 3 hours without any interruption. Like this is why when people like they probably scrolling through on their bed, probably put them kids in the sleep, and they not sleeping till like a midnight or 1 a.m. And then
mhm,
when they're waking up like a 7, 8 o'clock, rushing through breakfast, getting kids ready, then they rushing through like getting a makeup done and everything to go to the work, or like getting ready for like a their 9 or 10 o'clock, whatever maybe the shift is. So you're not giving it yourself to do like a certain things. You're like rushing through them. Stress is increasing as well. So obviously you're not gonna get things done, and there is less productive you are the whole day because you're stressed out, the lack of sleep, and you haven't got the proper sleep. Because another study like I have read, between 11 p.m. till like a 2 a.m. I think this is the most time like you can go like a deep sleep, and where you are like
mhm,
most likely a good sleep. But if you're missing out like at them 2, 3 hours, the beginning of it, and you're sleeping like a 1 or 2 a.m., then you lost out. Like even though how many hours you sleep after the is not gonna give you the kind of satisfaction like where early sleeping and waking up early gonna give you. So there is like a lot of things you mentioned like I follow in the same way as well. So I know like it's easier saying that, like a lot of people you need to develop them kind of habits. That's where need some kind of accountability partner or someone's like yourself like help them or guide them through.
mhm.
So, Jacqueline, we are nearly coming to the end of this podcast. It's been a great pleasure having you in the show. So, if anyone wants to learn more about yourself, need a help from you, where's the best place to find you?
Right. Well, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, both as Clarity Coaching 50. So they can find me there, where I put little tips on every day for them. And I'm on LinkedIn under my name, Jacqueline Robertson. So they can find me there as well. So all the tips, I would say my biggest tip would be if you want a morning routine, don't try and do it all at once. Do one thing. When you've got that sorted, stack with another thing. That's how you'll get your routine sorted. Not all at once, one bit, then another bit after you've got that first bit sorted.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time today. I really wish you best of luck
Thank
with your
you.
business, your personal life,
Thank you
and you
very
have a
much.
wonderful day ahead. You're most
And you.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you. So that's a
Thank
wrap,
you.
guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode with Miss Jacqueline today. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. If anyone wants to learn more about Jacqueline, you can visit our website, or you can find her on TikTok or Instagram. So until then, I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care.